I want to introduce you to four small business owners of three different small businesses in downtown Bentonville. And really briefly, I just want you to introduce yourself and tell us about your business and how long you've had it and a little bit about what people can find there.
Sure. I'm Lisa Vinson.
Yep.
Oh, do I need the mic?
Yep, let's pass it around.
Hi, I'm Lisa Vinson. I own Remedy Road, which is downtown Bentonville, and we've been in business about 5 years. You want to know why we started our business?
Tell me a little bit about why you started, what people can find if they've never been in there.
So we have anything from clothing to gifts for men, women, kids. The reason we started the business was this was never our dream to have this business. It just kind of stumbled upon. We took a trip to India, I don't know, maybe 15 years ago. And we saw different people in jobs needing jobs, needing hope. And so we're like, I want to do something to help these people at some point in our life. Fast forward like 5 years, we should open a store that carries brands that are from all across the world, where people from all across the world come to shop. So that's kind of a smidget of how it started.
I love it. Tammy?
I'm Tammy Morris, and I've been here. I was a Northwest Arkansas transplant 15 years ago and came here for Walmart, and I'm on the supplier side now, but also opened Cocoon Yoga Lab in the end of 2019. So we've been open just a little over 2 years in the pandemic. And I opened it because I was just looking for a place that was similar to all the different places I had been around the world that offered unique experiences, and looking for a place with more community for the transplant that was coming here.
Awesome. Bobby?
And we are Paula and Bobby Critselous. We're from in downtown Bentonville, Three Dog Bakery in downtown Bentonville. So we're a pet store with a in-store bakery component where we bake fresh treats. I should say where Paula bakes fresh treats. And we sell accessories for dogs and cats, but just at pet retail.
Why did y'all pick downtown Bentonville as a location for your business?
Start.
So I'm over at 8th Street Market, and I just found that area to be really cool and upcoming with the Momentary. I came in right before the Momentary opened, and everything happening with Brightwater. It was just a great, fun hub to be, and honestly, everything over there was food-based, so I thought it'd be great to come in and have like a collaborative source where we could do, beer and yoga, or go across to the Momentary and do stuff on the lawn. So it was a great location for us.
We chose downtown because of the traffic, the walking traffic, because there's people coming from all over to visit our unique little city. And so we wanted to have those people coming to visit our shop and learn about different brands and different ways to be able to give back when they don't even know they're doing it, just with regular shopping.
And Bobby and Paula, you guys are right across the street from Remedy Road.
Yes, we
why
are.
do you guys
And actually,
pick-
I'll probably let Paula answer this
Yep.
one because it really, downtown was, when she saw that spot, was her choice. But
Yeah. I just, like Lisa, thought that the walk-by traffic would be way better than just drive-by traffic in a strip mall somewhere. We also saw how many people walk their dogs downtown, and, even though you're downtown, you're still close to a lot of households with people walking, so.
All right, so enough with the formalities. Now we're going to get into what it's like to own a business in downtown Bentonville or anywhere. I want to know about the challenges. It's been a challenging 2 years, but overall, just owning a small business in itself has challenges. Tell us about challenges that maybe the community, they don't always see or understand. And I'm going to preface this, I'm going to start with Tammy, because really this whole interview started after a post that you posted on social media. And I'm going to show that now. You are explaining to the community that after owning your business for quite a while, you finally paid yourself. And that was a $48 check for you and a $48 check for your husband. That is eye-opening, I think, to a lot of people who think you own this small business and it's just lucrative. And explain the purpose behind that post, and did you get reaction from people? And to the larger group, that's one of the challenges of owning a small business. Let's talk about cash flow and paying yourself and having other jobs as well.
Yeah, so that check that was my first time writing myself a check, and it's really hard. Running a small business is really hard. I think people don't realize, unless you're funded, how hard it is. I've put hundreds of thousands of dollars into the business between construction and ongoing rent and all the ongoing expenses that people don't see behind the scenes. And so it's been hard. We opened our doors and 5 months later had to close them because of the pandemic. And so we've never seen what true high is going to be like, or what our true membership base is going to be like. In fact, I was planning on opening a second studio this year, paid for the lease, went through the whole architect thing, and actually hit pause because with the pandemic kind of firing back up, construction prices on the rise, I had to pause that and just kind of get a firm base here. But going back to that check, so the 10th of the month, I pay all of my amazing instructors, and I always would just be so mad writing the checks that I'm like, I just want one check for myself. I've put in 80 hours or 100 hours this week. Like, I just want a penny. And so I was like, that's it, we're gonna start writing ourselves, even if it's tiny, just so I have like that feeling. But it's hard, and I know a lot of us work second jobs, so I have a full-time job to support the studio, and we'll probably have that for quite some time because it's just really hard to recover from this.
Lisa, tell me about your challenges, and you have another job as well.
Yes, so I work in healthcare and sales, and I've done that for about 16 years. And just like you were saying, I don't pay myself. There is absolutely no way I can pay myself. I don't even get $48. But
Girl, do it.
I know. Maybe I'll just take a shirt.
Yeah.
So the challenge is there is a lot of upfront cost, and I just did it. I didn't initially take out loans. We just said, okay, we're gonna get inventory and we're gonna kind of wing this and make it work. And we've been winging it for 5 years to make it work. So having a store the size we do, like 2,300 square feet, we have a lot of product to stock. And so it does take a lot of upfront of having to buy this product so you look stocked. And then to have the traffic to keep selling it, to keep replenishing with the new and the fresh, especially our clothing aspect. Like, trends change, so you've got to be pretty quick. And so it is a lot of money that we have in the store, and then to not be making money, 5 years in, because 2 years of that was the pandemic, is very difficult. And it's like multiple times had the conversation, do we close the doors next month? Do we stop? Do we stop doing what we, started out doing? Do we go online only? And I really don't want to be online only. Like, that's just not my goal, because the face-to-face connection with people traveling here and getting to actually talk to a human has been very important to me. And so that challenge is something I deal with still on a daily basis. Like, we really hope to be here in a year, but will we? We're not sure. We really need support from, our community to really help us be able to, have longevity.
I can speak for Downtown Bentonville Inc. I'm fairly confident we don't want you online. We want you physically downtown. And a lot of it is that experience
100%.
of, people coming here, living here or visiting, and stumbling upon all of these great businesses in our downtown. So we don't want that to change. Don't go online.
Well, no, that's not the plan. Definitely not the plan.
All right, Bobby and Paula, tell us a little bit about challenges that maybe people don't always see.
Yeah, a lot of challenges that they speak of similar. One thing that I think really stands out for us is that even though we have a lot of products that are oriented towards pets, and like I said, our strategy is more driven from our in-store bakery component, and so that's what the appeal and the draw is. And it's not the product, it's the experience that we want to have. So the vulnerability that we have is, in any independent pet stores usually find this, is that you have to be very move forward as far as choices of products, because usually those products are going to end up in either e-commerce or in the large retailers as well as, and that's understandable. I mean, those products, when they develop and they get the appeal to be in a large format. So for us, really staying dynamic in that. But what we have found out, we opened in 2015, and through the years of experience is really focusing more on the experience side and finding products that correlate with that experience has been the biggest challenge for us.
Mm-hmm. I do want to go at some point in this interview and talk about the great reasons to own a small business, but we are on the topic of challenges. And COVID has been a major challenge. Downtown, we've seen it, whether it's restaurants or shops or organizations as well. You had to pivot. We hate that word, pivot at this point. But there was a lot of pivoting and a lot of adjusting. Tell us about your experiences with owning a small business downtown, a foot traffic based business, when the foot traffic slows down. What is that like?
Yeah, well, I think you're right. Well, the word pivot, I don't think really, transform is more what it felt like from our standpoint. But yeah, it's very difficult. We were lucky in a sense because the World Pet Association, that kind of a governing, stepped in, and pet food, and since we have a good percentage of our sales for pet food, we were maintained as a necessity, so we were able to keep our doors open. But with that is that concerns for our staff. So Paula and I basically allowed our staff to furlough. We would pay them, and we came in and did most of the hours in the store. And then we understood from the customer standpoint that a lot of them were not comfortable in going around through the pandemic, and so we had to try to develop curbside along with having decent traffic coming into the store. So moving around the labor issue and moving around different dynamics and being just really quick in making decisions was somewhat tough, and then we knew we couldn't sustain it long term, so we had to cut hours down just for our standpoint.
Did y'all ever shut your doors, or was it
Did not.
curbside?
I mean, we've been lucky enough that
We're very fortunate.
Yeah, we have.
And it was because we sell dog food, and that's a necessity. People can't just not feed their dogs.
We tried to hint around. It's like, look, if we're obviously we sell other things outside of dog food, and we know to make our model work, we needed to sell things out of the bakery case that are more treats. They're not, it's not a necessity. But so in the best way that we could articulate to have people, if you knew what you were coming in for, chews, collars, harnesses, things that you're now experiencing because you're at home now with your pet.
Mm-hmm.
So there was a big change in the families.
Is how many people came in from working at home that said, "What do you have that will keep my dog busy?"
Yes.
Well, I don't know.
That was big.
And so that was just kind of maneuvering around that from that standpoint, and and maintaining vigor and staying excited about it, but putting in longer hours. We knew we had to adjust our hours, but we never closed the door. I mean, we're open 7 days a week. We went from 10 to 5, and when everything was said and done, we looked back on numbers, and it really didn't move the needle much from 5 to 7 where we were staying open. And then as became more comfortable with it and vaccinations were more available, then we slowly were able to bring our workforce back into it, and again keep our doors open. So we were way fortunate, as a lot of our other business partners weren't that unfortunate.
To your point, Paula, my dogs are ready for me to go back to work too. What was it like? I mean, so yoga in itself,
We had to close.
You had to close.
Yeah.
I'm assuming you had to spread out. There's a whole nother component of athletic activity going on in your doors. So tell me about that.
So we were only open 5 months and had to close our doors for a painful 55 days. And being that we're an experience-based studio with aerial yoga, stand-up paddleboard, and we do a lot of stuff with props, you can't really translate that in virtual. We did flip and immediately went to virtual the day we had to close. So our students could still move with us, but it wasn't the same. So we were looking for ways as soon as we were open, what we could do. So we partnered with a lot of other small businesses that were also hurting, that had bigger spaces than us, where we could offer bigger classes. So one of them was an event center, Heron Crest, and so we would go there and we could have a larger gathering. We used the Cooper Chapel, so we could have a bigger gathering. We used the Momentary Lawn. We used different parks. We did a lot of outdoor classes because people felt comfortable coming and moving outside. So we tried to find as many places that we could collaborate with as possible so we could host bigger classes. We are still not at full capacity because I think old capacity will never feel right being that close together. So we're still limiting who can come in, how many people we have. Our cleaning standards have never changed since day one. We always were very high standards. And our members thank us for that. They've been really, really supportive and sticking with us through it all.
retail, Lisa? How was that
So
during COVID?
we did close for a month or so, but we transitioned to which we were online anyway, but we transitioned to we can deliver for free, or you can come to curbside and pick up. And one of my staff members, she's our manager. She constantly did stuff of trying to help the customer of what they needed. And we had a couple customers who are very loyal, and they were like, we want to bring our daughter, and it's her birthday. We can't do anything for her birthday. Everything's closed. So she had her and her daughter had a little birthday party in the store. So it was just 3 people in the whole store, so it worked out. But it was definitely, I think I've blacked that part out of my memory because I don't want to think about it. We don't want to close again. We want to stay open. But we tried to serve our customer to what they needed. And with retail, people were like, oh, we don't really need clothes. But then I think 6 months into the pandemic, like, yes, I want to go and put real clothes on. I want to go somewhere.
No more sweatpants.
So, yeah, no more sweatpants. But we do have a good selection of sweatpants now.
I think we've all gotten so used to sweatpants now. Maybe that's kind of the norm.
Just throw heels on with sweatpants.
It's cute.
It is.
I want to talk about community support. Downtown Bentonville Incorporated did a Shop the Block event during COVID, where we had sponsors provide money that we then gave to shoppers to distribute to small businesses in the area. So that was infusing cash during a time when we felt businesses really needed that extra help. I want to talk about that and its impact, because we hope to continue doing those events, and we want to hear from small businesses and how that affected you. And then overall, I want to talk about community support during COVID, and did you get a small boost of community support? Has it been sustained? And let's talk about that as well.
Well, we loved the downtown dollars. That was so much fun because it was starting to bring people out when they were still a little leery, but free money people don't usually turn down.
How can we get people to come down?
And it was funny to watch them in the store. The girls would tell me, like, they were like, oh, we can get this for this. And it was cute because even the younger, some parents, I guess, gave it to their girls and let them, do shopping. So it's really fun to even see them learning how to spend their money, and they only had so much. And so we really appreciated it and think that it'd be great to continue just kind of the camaraderie and helping infuse business. As far as the community, we still need community support. I mean, we're not over with people, like, it's not normal. I don't know if anything, I hate the word normal, but I don't know if it'll be normal again. But, at first it was like small business, let's eat local, and it kind of fizzled off some. And I've really, as myself, have tried to make sure and support local, like especially restaurants, but we would love that to be continued even past the pandemic, because really local survives on its community.
I love the Downtown Dollar event, and it launched right when we had launched a new program. So we just have a small 12-foot space for merchandise, and the year of the pandemic, I'm like, what about if we turned our entire studio into a store for a weekend? And so Black Friday, we did that, and it was extremely successful. And we had a lot of people come over and spend their dollars. But 2 other standout things that I thought were really good small business support was the year in April of 2020, they did the NWA Gives Drive. And so that's when everybody gives to the nonprofits. And in 2020, they opened it up and donors gave, I think, $100,000 or more. And when people donated to the nonprofit, they got to pick a small business that they got gift cards from. And I think it was Movista that went in and programmed all the gift cards and stuff. That was a huge cash driver for us, and a really good way for people to support the community. And then one of the local screen printers, Be Unlimited, also offered up Alliance tees. And so we were able to order t-shirts at a reduced amount that we could have printed with our logo and our branding, and people could buy them. And so I think a lot of businesses were really creative and helping to support. But I will agree, I feel like that support has a little bit fizzled, and so we're still in it, and more and more people are coming out, and we're getting back to a little bit of normal, but we still need that small business push for sure.
Yeah, I will ditto on what they stated. I also felt like the having those types of programs also shared an alignment to the overall human aspect of it as well, and giving in, and so it went outside of Bentonville, it went outside of Northwest Arkansas. People that came in saw that they were, hey, what's that? What's going on? Why are they doing that? And when we explained the the event that the Bucks from DBI, they were like, God, I love this place even more, from it. So it was just an overall good experience, and that's what happens when your intent is good things. Usually that kind of it grows, and that's what we felt. I kind of feel we were just, as we stated before, extremely lucky in the sense of the field that we're in with pet retail that benefited from that, and so the community was involved. I think what helped us was that there was supply chain issues on some of the larger companies, whereas some of the products that we center around don't have as much. They have much outsourcing. They're all done within their facilities, and they just go from point A to a distribution center into our stores, independent stores. And so I think there was a period of time initially when some of the larger retailers' shelves were empty, that they had access to some of the brands in which we carry, and the fact that our space allows for a conversation, and owners are experiencing something for the first time, and you're having those conversations. And we also have treats, and so it's just an easy segue to talk about nutrition and explain contents of our treats and our mission. So it was just an opportunity for us, and we were looking and seeing like our neighbors, doors being shut and things of that sort. So just the community involvement and community awareness is key into that.
So let's give a call to action as we're wrapping up this interview. How can Downtown Bentonville Incorporated, how can the city, how can the community, how can we step up in the beginning of 2022 and throughout the year, no matter what changes with COVID, how can we help support you so that our downtown continues to have these great shops and these great services, and is a vibrant, fun place to walk around? How can we help, Lisa?
That's a great question. I wish I had all the answers.
Lisa, we need to know.
You're on the spot. I mean, bringing the community together is a huge part, and just letting people know that we do want their support, and we thrive on their support, and anything that we can do as local businesses, we want to help our community. I can't tell you how many emails I get on a weekly basis of organizations or churches or schools or Girl Scout groups or different, not Girl Scouts specifically, but just little groups that are saying, can you donate to our thing? And we thrive on that. We actually had to set a budget, like this is all we can do per month, because we get so many, and we want to be able to do that. But in order for us to do that, we've got to have money coming in. And so that's anything that drives that business, and the walking traffic and people coming in and wanting to be intentional with their dollars and spend it locally, and not come in and then try to find it cheaper somewhere else. Because I can't do price match. What is that, price match? But I sure will try. Like,
without naming any retailers.
Just saying, we're happy to try to do it. Those things that we get, you're not gonna, you can't find other places. But we are wanting to help them as much as we need their help.
Right.
I challenge the community to try something new. Maybe you've always gone to your same regulars. Try a different restaurant, try a different store. Come in, get a different experience, shake it up, because when you shake it up, new things open up in your life. And then talk about it. So for us, the biggest thing is one picture put on social media is huge. Going out and doing a Google review, giving us a 5-star rating, all that stuff helps a small business. People don't realize one little review, what impact that has. So, and that doesn't cost anything. So definitely share, because marketing helps. It helps drive traffic. It helps get people in and let them experience new things.
Exactly, Tammy. Just this forum here, getting exposure in spreading what we do and telling what we do and what we're looking for helps. Just like it doesn't have to be so much monetary, just the likes. We're all pretty active on our social media. We feel that that's a great way to show our community. I think that we, in our spare time, we're always trying to be involved in the community, because that's what we love so much about the downtown area. In Bentonville and Northwest Arkansas, as it keeps expanding out, is that just likes, following on Instagram, sharing information, just anything like that doesn't have to be $1 spent in the store.
Last question. tell me something great about owning a small business, because you do it because you're passionate about it and you love it. Tell the community why you do what you do.
I think for me, it's been getting to know our regular customers, and they appreciate that we know their names. I mean, we have a different business in that we have people coming on a regular basis, so it's been so much fun, being able to talk to people and kind of getting to be part of their family almost. But equally, it's fun to talk to all the visitors and tourists that we have and that comes to downtown and finding out their story. And I think, by us having those conversations with them, it also gives them a sense of what our whole downtown is about, what our small businesses are about, is, being very personable and welcoming and that kind of thing. I don't know anything else that I'd want to do, even with all the challenges and the fact that you're not making money. I would miss it terribly. So
100% community. I've met some of the most amazing people that will be friends for life. And being able to take somebody who's like high stress corporate job, doesn't know anybody here, and bring them in and put them to sleep in like 7 to 8 minutes in a sound bath and calm them down that much that they're snoring the whole class. I love that. And I love the giggles we get. The first time somebody goes upside down and they're giggling, they're like, I haven't been upside down since I was 8. And then they're like, what else could I do with my life? The people 100% is why Cocoon stays open. I love it so much. Not making money for sure. It's a passion. It's a passion project to get people out of their mind and into their bodies and to feel amazing and get them to their highest self. So for me, that's what drives 100% of what I do.
And the same as what they've said, the people, the community, the face-to-face interaction with people. We just really love that the community can come in and have those conversations and just build that rapport with them. But also the connection to many of the people who make our products are global. I mean, and a lot of them are here in the U.S., and it's young entrepreneurial women who need a spot for their stuff. And so really highlighting those people and giving them, because they're begging for community support as well. And not just because they don't live in Bentonville, but we want to be able to help that. And so without us, I know we're a tiny piece in their business, but we want to be that tiny piece that a lot of tiny pieces like us make their whole world. So that's super important to us to be able to stay, and that motivates us to keep going.
Well, thank you all for joining us. We will share all of the information about your businesses with the viewers so they can make sure to drop by. If you want to talk to the people that have their thumb on the pulse of downtown Bentonville, it's our small business owners in downtown. So I encourage everyone to drop by and have a conversation, drop by your business, purchase something, and just, I appreciate you guys with giving us your honest take on owning a business in downtown Bentonville.
Thank you
for having us.